every time I hop on a plane to do a solo trip, I'm like, why am I here on this flight? I really should be back home with my dog. I think I need to actually go with friends. It almost feels like a waste to be solo traveling because I don't have anyone to share this with. Buongiorno. It is my second morning in Ravello, which is in the Amalfi Coast. I thought I would just do my morning skincare with you as I talk about all the people I've met so far on this trip. This trip, I booked half hostels and half Airbnbs/hotels. Usually in solo trips in the past, I've booked mostly just hostels. Once I drop my bags off at a hostel, I'll usually meet someone in the room. They'll invite me to go to dinner or do something. In Santorini, my roommate invited me to drive through Santorini on the back of her buggy. I was worried on this trip that I was gonna meet no one and that I was gonna have to bop around the Amalfi Coast by myself, which, you know, in all actuality has been the case for the most part. But last night, I actually met a girl on the bus around my age. She said to me, oh, the bus driver is so brave. He's such a good driver for driving this road. And I remember, like, this would be a good time to strike up conversation and ask her if she's a solo traveler as well. And I didn't for like the next 10 minutes. And as we were nearing our stop, that's when I asked. I was like, oh, are you also solo traveling? A friend of mine in the past always told me that there's always something to learn from people. And literally on the bus in that moment, that's what I was thinking. And we just ended up going together, walking through this villa at nighttime. And then as we were walking around, she's like, oh, I probably am gonna grab dinner in Ravello. And that's how we got dinner as well. I think I have this problem of like wanting to get deep with everyone I meet, even like strangers while solo traveling. I want to know why they did what they did, why they chose this career, why they decided to be a social worker, whatever it is that it is, right? Like, I just feel like I'm really nosy, but over the years, I don't know if I'm just jaded or over it because I have to get deep in my work talking to people as a dietitian. The past 2 solo trips, I haven't really tried to ask people why. I don't need to know their whole life story. That was my experience with this girl. Learned a lot about German people, their personalities compared to Russians, and the dating scene in Germany, which was also super interesting. But along this trip, I've taken a lot of buses on the Amalfi Coast specifically. I have met so many people in the line for the Sita bus. There were these 2 American girls, probably like in their early 20s. Waiting for something is sometimes enough social stimulation for me for the day. I also met these older couples who were traveling, also waiting for the Sita bus. Their kids are grown, they get to do these longer trips by themselves. Gives me hope that you can be married for decades and still be okay and still be able to do these really fun trips. One couple who was in their 70s, I think, they did the Path of Gods yesterday morning, which is like a 4-hour hike, like up and down stairs, which is incredible. And they're able to do it at that age. Those are goals right there. As I was journaling this morning, watching the sunrise, it's like, I think I'm starting to realize that the people that you meet, they're not gonna, in 10 years from now, recount that one memory you had in Ravello overlooking the water during sunset. Because you're not gonna meet these people you meet solo traveling ever again. And if you do, it's like once in a blue moon. Friendship is all about sharing the memories that you've made with that person as the years go on. As you get older, as you start losing your memories, your friend can still bring up this memory you guys had 30 years ago and chuckle about it. I'm starting to realize that I think I want to do that more. That's what I wrote about in my journal. And really, half the trip is always about the sights, the towns, the culture, the architecture, whatever is here. but half of any trip for me is always about the people. And I think the biggest lesson I learned from someone I've met on this trip, which I didn't even get to share with you, I stayed at a hostel my first night in Florence, and there I met 3 girls who were so fun and so lovely. You know, one was from Chicago and the other 2 were Australian. And I just remember as the night went on, I was tagging along. One of the girls knew everyone from the hostel staff. Like, she just became super friendly, super close friends with the hostel staff, and they all invited her to take shots with them, to go out with them, to do things with them. And I just realized then and there, like, when I was checking in, I made pleasantries with the hostel staff, but I didn't really ask them about their day, what they were up to. I didn't treat them like peers or friends. I treated them like hostel staff, like staff that was there to help me. But this other girl treated them like friends, like peers, like people that she wanted to get to know just as much as other travelers in the hostel, which I think is a really special quality to have. And that's also why I had such a great time that night, because we were so included by all of the like 6 hostel staff people who were all Italian locals. We were playing drinking games with them. They were sharing their drinks with us. I just think that it's so important to have the belief that everyone is worth getting to know, which is what I thought of on the bus ride, which is also the mindset that other girl probably had as she made friends with all the hostel staff. So my one lesson so far from my Italy trip is everyone is worth getting to know, or at least trying. And if things don't vibe, if energies don't align, that's always fine. But always give someone the benefit of the doubt and see what they have to say. I'm gonna have to hop off, and then the plan for today is to take a bus, the same Sita bus, from my place in Ravello down to Salerno. And Salerno is another port town in the Amalfi Coast. And then tomorrow from Salerno, I'll take a train up to Rome. So I'm gonna pack up and get moving along my day. But this Airbnb, this sunrise is incredible. It's been a delight waking up every single morning here, and I'll see you in my next video.